Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the We Know Traders podcast over here on RHAP. I'm your host, the Duke of Deception, Pooya Vakili, ready to talk about yet another cast member of Traitors US Season 4, premiering January 8th. This pre-journey has been very fun to do. Today, we're going to venture into some familiar territory for quite a few of you. We're going back on the Survivor right now to talk about a winner from the new era, one of my personal favorites, Yam Yam. And with me to talk about Yam Yam is one of my closest friends. Potentially, depending on how the Survivor finale goes, because you may not know, but this is being recorded at a time, potentially the only other person with me in the two-time draft winners club is my dog Chappell. How you doing?
Pooya, I hadn't even thought about that. So I'm very excited now to be talking to you in the potential two-timers club. This is so much fun. I'm very excited to talk about Yam Yam. I've last year we talked about Danielle Reyes, and I had so much to say. I mean, it was kind of like my life's work, and this is a little bit more relaxed for me because I wanted to talk about Yam Yam for different reasons, and I can't wait to explore all of that with you.
Well, what reason is that? Can we get that?
Yeah, so for me, like obviously, Yam Yam is a Survivor player. You and I, we both do the Survivor thing, so you know it makes sense. We did our draft, and you drafted Yam Yam first, I believe. But I would have drafted Yam Yam first, very much so. He just pops out as one of those people that he's magnetic, and I find that there's a lot of like odd similarities between me and Yam Yam. Is just the way we present in life. Just like we are very goofy. We are comedy forward people. Okay, we're gonna have a good time first and foremost, and I think that's a little disarming to people. And I would love to talk about maybe what that looks like in a game like the Traitors. But most importantly, aside from Rob Cesternino, I believe Yam Yam is the person that I know the best on this cast on a personal level. You know, I've met him several times. And I've had some pretty cool interactions with Yam Yam. And so if I'm rooting for somebody like on a personal level that I would love to see win the game, then like who better than aside from Rob, obviously, who better than Yam Yam for me to talk about?
Yeah, and I feel very similarly to you with Yam Yam, where I literally made my decision on who I wanted to draft for 44 off of the preview we got at the end of 43. Just that one little snippet of hearing Yam Yam laugh and talk about pooping in the ocean. And I was like, this is vibes. This is exactly who I want. If I can pick Yam Yam, I'm going Yam Yam. Lo and behold, I'm given the first pick in the draft. I know where I'm going, and it does pay off for me. But Yam Yam is absolutely extremely disarming, and I think that's where he is the most dangerous. I think, you said you see some similarities between the two of you. I see it as well. You played a online edition of the Traitors, little known fact maybe to our audience, everyone knows that, and you excelled because I think you are disarming, and I think your goofiness can be a very good front for what's going on in the background, which is strategic chops that people may not be privy to.
And I wish I could say I was as strategic as Yam Yam, but like that, I am not in the same league as this man. Like I think that, like, yeah, we definitely both have this like era of like we're gonna have a good time, we're gonna laugh and joke. I did not have a great time playing that game because I was so stressed. I don't like to play.
Right.
You know me. I don't like to.
I know you.
Yeah, but like Yam Yam is not me. Okay, he is not stressed by these things. These things excite him. He wanted to play Survivor since he was like 12 years old. He wanted to play any game. Like he was dying to get into this realm that he's in now, and so I'm very happy for him to do it. But yeah, the things about these games that make me kind of like shudder are the things that really get Yam Yam going. And so despite us both coming in being like, oh yeah, we're gonna make you laugh and try to make everybody be friends with everybody and have a good time, Yam Yam is cutthroat and he plays no games when it comes to like competition. So I have so much faith in Yam Yam. I would love to see what he looks like as either a traitor or a faithful. It really doesn't matter to me.
You are one of my more fashionable friends that I have the honor of knowing, Chappell. What do you think of the fit?
I love this jacket. I love this jacket. What are you talking about? Oh my God. Okay. So when it popped up on the screen, I almost said, Yam Yam, damn, God, I see it. Now I need to see the shoe. Because I can't, like I'm thinking,
of course,
if he's wearing it with pants, got like a nasty boot or something like that going on. Like I could see it, but I don't know. I need to see the full photo. But right now, if I was tapping into my Bryce Isaiah-ness, I'd be like, those thumbs are visible. That's we have to pay attention to things like that. But the actual jacket itself, It looks like it's almost like a quilted type situation. It's very cold in Scotland, so like that's where you really just start to play with your layers. You know what I'm saying? You could do things. Now black shirt. I need to see the pants. I need to see the pants and the shoes. You know what I'm saying? Before I make any harsh judgments. But Jam Jam also stylish guy. You know his outfit on Survivor. He like on his cast photos and all that kind of stuff. He was popping from day one. He had the like the shirt unbuttoned. You know, very Puerto Rico in a cast photo too. So look at this man. How can you not root for Jam Jam?
I'm so excited for him. I'm excited. I feel like Jam Jam is going to, you know how every season we see a lot of people start making their way to the other franchises after they watch the show, right? So, for example, I feel like Boston Rob brought a lot of people into Survivor Realm, or, you know, some of the old era folks that may not have been watching were like, you know what, maybe I should go check it out. I think Jam Jam is a great representative for the new era, and I think there's going to be quite a few people that are going to make their way to Survivor after meeting him.
Yeah, and of course we had Carolyn as well, who was part of the new era, who Jam Jam works very closely with, and you know, so there's a lot of connection there with that Tika group, you know, coming and being a big part of this this show. But yeah, this is Jam Jam's bag. I feel like this might even be better suited to Jam Jam than Survivor, which is weird to say because he won Survivor, but he just can get along with everybody. And so many of his Survivor influences have already played this game. When talking about Survivor, you're like, oh, Jam Jam, well, who did you look up to? You know, what were your favorite players? And he's like, look, he didn't see himself really represented as like a queer man in Survivor too much, right? Like he saw, you know, like who played an exciting game, right? Like, so we saw like the Richard Hatches and the Todds, but they're few and far between. And so when Jam Jam pops on the scene, he almost has to be his own representation because his Survivor parents are like Sari and Parvati, you know, and Sandra. Like those are people you look up to, and look at that. All three of them played and made big impacts on the Traitors. So I feel like, to me, the stars are aligning for Jam Jam to come in and do well in this game.
Yeah, and I feel like I like this cast for him too, where we have a pretty diverse cast here. There's a good mix of folks from all different franchises, but when you are a social player first, I feel like a cast like this, you're going to be able to eat up real quick. I think that a lot of people are going to gravitate towards Jam Jam just on a personal level, let alone game level.
Absolutely. Like if he's coming in, like in Survivor 44 or whatever, he came in and he wanted to work with the women. There were a lot of the women got voted out, but when he came, like got to the merge, he's like, hey, let's do this thing. Let's link up. And there are a lot of strong women in this cast who are gonna be like, I think very attractive to somebody like Jam Jam who wants to work with women in a large way that he just naturally gets along with. But there are so many gamers as well, right? So there's just like I could just see so many outs for him to just go and hang out with people and really ingratiate himself. Like I think the housewives would love Jam Jam. Who wouldn't? Like, you know what I'm saying? And then when it comes to strategy, he worked with Carson. You can't tell me he wouldn't get along with Ian Terry. You know, so there's just different. I just feel like, you know, like you said, you plop Jam Jam down here and you just watch him cook. I feel like the Survivor player, the Big Brother player, the gamers, they're going to talk strategy with Jam Jam. He's going to make it fun. I think that's what's attractive about Jam Jam is that if he's starting and making this fun, it's a vibe, it's a good time, then yeah, you don't mind cutting up with him and then touching base every now and then on some strategy, you know? And I think he could do that with most of the people on this cast for sure.
Yeah, well, let's look under the hood here. Let's look at the rest of this cast and see who and where we think Jam Jam goes. So I think off rip, let's speak about our 3 Survivor representatives here because they are connected in many ways. Rob has obviously podcasted with Jam Jam as recently as I believe this like last season. So very recently they have talked on, I want to say like season 48 of Survivor. So there's connection there. I had I have a very fun anecdote now for the rest of my life where I was talking to Jam Jam. We were at this, there was a Survivor 45. There was like this, we got to watch the episode a day ahead of time, and there were some alumni there. It was like a whole event over in the Paramount building in New York. And I was talking to Jam Jam, and I get tapped on the shoulder. Someone says, excuse me. I'm like, look around. It's Natalie Anderson.
Oh.
And she's like, yeah, she's like, can you take a photo of me and him? And I was like, okay. So Natalie gives me her phone, and I snap a photo of her and who? Jam Jam. So Chappell, they know each other.
Yeah. You had to weasel your way into that photo. Like there's like no way, like you have to seize these moments. I'm sorry. It's cringy, but it's worth it. Okay. Cause Natalie Anderson tapped me on the shoulder. I would have collapsed.
I know. Well, you're telling me to get on the photo though, because like, what am I gonna do?
Get
Do
up.
this and be like, actually, one for us now. Like,
Yes.
I'm not gonna do that, Chappell.
Damn it, tag me in. I'm sorry. I would have, Pooya, you want me to get this photo of you? Like, I would have like, I'll get all three of you. And then the two of you, you gotta work this. This is a magic moment. No, this is a great anecdote. But like you said, Natalie, she gets it. She sees Jam Jam. She's like, I gotta get a picture with Jam Jam. Real game, recognized game. They're both iconic winners. And that photo is gonna be worth a lot of money one day.
Honestly, because I'm very excited for the prospect of the two of them working together. I think their personalities are going to gel real quick, real easy. They're both very fun. I feel like what's funny is I feel like Natalie, through her playing Survivor, started being seen as a more serious person than I think she is. Like, she is strategic, she is physical, and I think she does look physically intimidating because she looks like she's capable of a lot. But I think people forget that Natalie is also very goofy. And I think that these two are going to connect very quickly, very easily.
Yes. I'm very excited to see what that looks like. And I would also be very concerned about, what that looks like if there is some tension, because both of them have shown to be very cutthroat in their gameplay. Jam Jam goes very far into the, season with Carolyn, but there were definitely moments where we saw him being like, should I vote out Carolyn? Could she beat me? Is that something that I should be considering? And I don't think he's going to stop that train of thinking for someone like Natalie, who is very much, a player that you should be weary of if you plan on winning the game. So yeah, I think that when they're working together, it will be amazing. But if they're fighting against each other, we can go get some fireworks, and that'll be fun too.
And I think it helps both of them that they are both winners. In that, if there's only one winner from Survivor, you're going to stick out like a sore thumb. So having two is not a bad situation here.
Exactly. Now, it might be one of those things where, well, one of you is probably a traitor, because why would they put two survivors on the season and and like, if they vote out Natalie, are they immediately thinking, well, we got to get Jam Jam because at least one of them had to have something? So I think there might be reason to kind of separate yourself. But again, Jam Jam is very good at that. That was his entire game in Survivor 44. It's the Tika 3, but we're not working together. Him and Carolyn are actively fighting at Tribal Council, to the point where I think sometimes she forgot that they were fighting for 10.
The lines got blurry.
Yeah, he was like, bring it back, But but they were able to do that and continue to work together throughout the entire game. And so although I don't see Natalie and Jam Jam fighting, I think it would be fun TV.
It would be very fun TV. I think that for me, I feel good about the three Survivor players. Whether they work closely together or not is one thing, but I don't see any of them looking to target each other early on.
That brings me to the Podfather. I don't think, like, as a traitor, like, Rob doesn't want to be a traitor. I think he's pretty much been on record that he was like, I'm good being a faithful. I think Rob is very aware of Jam Jam. And I think that, like, whereas a lot of these people will come in and be disarmed by his comedy and his charm, I think Rob always saw Jam Jam for what he was throughout that season. We listened to him podcast about it every week, and we saw, Rob definitely thought Carolyn had a chance to beat Jam Jam. He thought she would get some votes, but he was not oblivious to Jam Jam's charm being something that was something of a superpower of his. And so I think if any of the Survivor players is willing to look at the other two and be like, nah, I think there's more to your game than you're letting on, I think it's always going to be Rob looking at Jam Jam.
Yeah, I think that you're absolutely right that Rob is someone who is aware of what Jam Jam is and capable of. Now, will Rob want to push him out or just stay close, keep him close? That is yet to be seen, but I'm very intrigued at that connection. Chappell, there are many other people on this cast that I know you are well familiar with, and you are most familiar with Jam Jam. So who are some other people you see Jam Jam connecting with here?
Well, again, like I said, Jam Jam wants to, he went into Survivor and he really connected with the women very easily in that game. And so there, like I said, there's a lot of big personality with the women, but Jam Jam is also a big personality. And I've never seen anything to indicate that he could not hang with some of these big personalities. Dorinda being back is, very, very intriguing, because we had a little taste, and now I need more. I need more of that. I would love to see Jam Jam maybe start, like, almost like fanning the flames of some of these bigger personality and make them kind of react a little bit more. We saw that with Jam Jam and Carolyn went through their season. Carolyn's a little wacky. And although people on their tribe, like Josh, wasn't really feeling it, Jam Jam was like, no, Carolyn, be you, be more. That's what I want to see. If Dorinda needs a drink, give her another one. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's all I'm saying. It's just like, I would love to see Jam Jam kind of in those roles. Because I just think, like, on a one-on-one, he's so good. This is why I want to talk about him. I have some anecdotes as well about Yam Yam.
Ooh, yes.
So I want to say it was the first time I'd ever met Yam Yam. He was I think you and I were in Brooklyn. Were we in Brooklyn?
Yes.
When he won? Yeah. And
Mhm.
we were at this watch party. But prior to the watch party, I was at the Bryson Wynn deal. And I was like, doing social media for them. And I like my best friend Ty was there, and Ty gave me a drink. And I was like, okay, cool, thanks. And I went on about what I was doing. And so then later on, I see Jam Jam. I was like, hey, Jam Jam, looks like you're gonna win $1 million. Drinks on you, LOL, JK, that kind of thing. Corny joke, but whatever. And Jam Jam looks at me and is like, I already bought you a drink. I was like, excuse me? He said, yeah, I already bought you a drink. I told your best friend to give it to you. I was like, bruh, like, ha, you sly dog, you. And so I was like, this man is crazy. How are you that good? And so from that moment on, he had me. And I think the next time I saw him, it was 45. We were in Brea, and he came downstairs. And I remember my aunt had told me she saw Jam Jam on TV. She doesn't watch Survivor, but she was like, oh, I saw Jam Jam and he was so great on TV. I just had to watch it to find out, like, who is this guy? And so she watched Survivor. She loved him. Jam Jam comes into our hotel. I'm like, Jam Jam, my aunt loves you so much. She wanted me to tell you. And he goes, call her right now. And he FaceTimed my aunt right in front of me. I mean, like, she's like crying at work, like, oh my God, it's Jam Jam. And he's like, oh my God, I just want to tell you, like, like, thank you so much. And I'm sitting there like, this is crazy. This man barely knows me. And so, yeah, like, there were just several times where he's just going out of his way to make a personal connection with people. Like, I can speak to my own experiences for sure, but I'm sure he'll do the same thing with a lot of these people too.
Oh, I 100% think so. I think that the other bit of superpower that Jam Jam has is while he is making those personal connections with you one on one, he's also looking at your body language. He's looking
Mm-hmm.
at your eyes. He's looking at your reaction. Are you blinking weird? And like, usually we talk and critique these things on the Traitors as negative because people are going off of nothing. I think Jam Jam proved on his season that he is good at the body language stuff. He's good at picking up stuff that you are hiding behind your face, which I think is a huge asset to have in this show.
He talked about it. He says, at Final Tribal Council, like, I can tell when people's lying to me, not because I'm just like in tune to like, oh yeah, I got a lot of tech there, but it's when you're telling me something is honest and it's from a good place, I can see it on your face. I can see the excitement. I can see your eyes light up, I think is what he said. He says, and when you're not, it doesn't give that same vibe. And there were definitely moments where with Carolyn, she has an idol, and Jam Jam knew. He's like, I know she has an idol. I can't prove it, but I know she does because she's not the same, or like there are moments where they were off and then they get back together. He's like, okay, I can tell she's back. This is the Carolyn that I missed. She's back, and I can tell because I can see her. He didn't really get along with Josh in his season. Them being two BIPOC queer men, you would think, and married, you would think like, oh, maybe they just got like a natural connection or whatever. But Josh was lying about a lot of stuff. He was hiding his occupation. He was being really cagey. He had like, because Josh had a good story. He was also a doctor, and so he's trying to keep all that under wraps. And Jam Jam is like, something ain't right. There's just something off with this. And so, his antennas were up, and he was kind of catching that in the real time. And we saw it on Survivor. So yeah, like where a lot of people come in on the Traitors and say it, we've actually seen like actual evidence of Jam Jam being able to do and prove the things that he said when it comes to reading body language.
Yeah, I think he's shown that he can back it up, and that's why I'm very excited to see him do it again. And see, like, is it really 2 out of 2? So
Yeah.
now, Chappell.
Hmm.
Jam Jam is a social butterfly. I truly think that Jam Jam is one of the unique people in this world that can get along with about anybody. However, I feel like Jam Jam can have fireworks. I think Jam Jam can be fiery when need be. Who are some of the people you would think that you could see Jam Jam clashing with this season?
So I think at first glance, Jam Jam is fine, right? He's in this room. He could talk to each of these people. I said,
Exactly.
but who is gonna get on his nerves? I think the issue with Jam Jam is gonna be if you are lying, he's going to know, and he's not gonna know like in a like, oh, I have to get you. But I think that the connection will never be made, right? Like if you're hiding something, if you're like, so whoever it are the traitors, I think Jam Jam is going to immediately clash with those people. I don't think it's going to be because they're not going to be presenting themselves as their full selves. So I think any of these people could be on that list. But just personality wise, like not to paint Jam Jam with a broad brush, but like I said, him and the other BIPOC queer man were not really getting along on his season. So I'm looking at some of these other queer men like, just be upfront with Jam Jam. You know what I'm saying? Don't play, because I would hate for him to get like a stigma. Like people like, hey, Jam Jam doesn't work with the queer men. But it was bad in 44. Let's just say there are a couple people on this cast that I could see him maybe clashing with again. Colton is a known liar, and so maybe he is maybe he will be okay with Colton. But Colton has like his issues are not around his queerness. Like that is his own personal journey. But we've seen Colton have some other controversial moments in the media and stuff like that. And I think Jam Jam can work with those people. But again, if you're being kind of weird about stuff, queerness aside, but if you're being like weird about your actual like things that you're doing in the game, but also the way you're presenting yourself in front of people, if you're not being genuine, I think some of that can come out. Michael Rappaport is there. I don't know what if Michael Rappaport knows or cares who Jam Jam is, and if he doesn't know or care who Jam Jam is, Jam Jam probably not gonna know or care who he is either. So I can see there being some issues with there. But right, what are Rob Roush and Jam Jam gonna talk about? You know what I'm saying? Like, so there are a few people where I'm like, all right, I could kind of see like maybe not a lot there, but for the majority of these people, I think Jam Jam gonna cook a little bit. I think these are his friends. I find a hard time seeing Jam Jam walking away from this season without like at least 18 extra friends.
Yeah. I'm looking at this cast, and the thing that gravitated towards the most for me, I'm kind of here for and hoping for a friendly, bearded, happy, goofy alliance with Jam Jam and Ron Funches. Could you imagine that duo? That would heal the world.
It's Chappell. Too much Riz. It's too much Riz. Too much shine. It's too much. It's just too much. Like I just feel like that we're not prepared. We're not ready for that kind of energy. There's no world where Ron Funches is like, we should get Jam Jam out. Like that just to me, I don't see it. I just don't see it. I think that like once they meet up, it's like the Spider-Man meme, like we're good here. So yeah, I think a lot of the men in this cast will be fine. I am concerned maybe about Ian and Jam Jam, because Ian is like Rob. Ian is like Rob. Ian knows Jam Jam. Like in my mind, right? Like I don't see Ian Terry coming into this unprepared. So he knows Jam Jam is gonna be like, schmoozing. He's talking, he's working the room, blah, blah, blah. And Ian is the type of person like, yeah, I see that. And I cannot do that. I don't think that's one of Ian's strengths. And so Ian is going to identify that as something that he probably should deal with. And if he needs an ally to do that, I think Rob Cesternino might be that guy. I think Rob Cesternino also sees Jam Jam for what he is. So I'm concerned because I want all my friends in my mind. They're not my friends. Jam Jam doesn't know me. He's only had those two interactions with me. In my mind, that makes us besties. But
in my mind, your besties.
Listen, you know how many besties I have, so that's kind of my MO.
Relax, guy.
I'm just talking about those poor people bought me drinks. Pooya, that was hard. It's not their fault. They're stuck with me. But Ian and Rob, I'm kind of like I could see them, and even to an extent, Tiffany Mitchell. I think that's another one where she's not coming into this game unprepared. She knows Jam Jam. You know what I'm saying? Like I think everybody who does not know Jam Jam's vibe of like, I'm just this like fun, lovable guy or whatever, I think those are the people he should be concerned about, because those are the ones who are most likely to play nice and then conspire behind his back.
Yeah. I'm very interested and excited to see him navigate these people and see how it happens and how it goes for him. Chappell, is there anybody else on the cast that you would like to drop your 2 cents on also while we're here?
Portia is gonna be so funny. That lady is gonna be so. This is an iconic casting with Portia. Lisa Rinna is another person that I would love to keep an eye on. She gives a very intense energy, and I like it. But like again, I think that she's like her own brand of intensity, right? Like she could be pointed at Jam Jam tomorrow, and she could not be. I think that for her, there's so many good ones here. I think Donna Kelsey's a big question mark. Like we don't know. I don't know anything about this lady except for the obvious proximity to the Kelseys and the Swifties and all that stuff. But like I don't know. Maybe she comes in and she like, I don't trust this Jam Jam guy. Like I don't know. But yeah, I'm very excited to see what Johnny Weir and Taylor Lipinski are even doing. Except for promoting the Olympics, because
what
else could they possibly be talking about? like if we find out that Tara Lipinski is like the best trader of all time, like that would be
Could you
incredible.
imagine?
Like she comes in the turret day one and she's like moving the pieces around. Like I think that for me, there are so many question marks that I am excited to see what happens. But I definitely think there are a few people here that are just food. Rob Rob R, that guy. I think he's easy pickings, as they say. Mark Ballas, it seems like the nicest human in the world. I don't know if this game is for a Mark Ballas type. It ain't for a Chappell type, and and he is nicer than me. And so yeah, so I'm concerned about him. Monet Exchange. Monet Exchange is familiar with Jam Jam's game, you know, and I think Monet Exchange might have a little bit of Jam Jam's game in her as well. You know, I think for Monet, she's going to also be leading with comedy. You know, I think that is a thing that people look at drag queens and expect. But Monet is not Bob the drag queen. Monet is tapped in. But Monet knows what the hell is going on. So I wonder if Monet and Jam Jam maybe can link up, because I don't know. Now that we're talking it through, there's a few people on this cast that actually are very familiar with Jam Jam's game. Not a lot, but if they can start to get their hooks into these lesser known people, these less strategic people, then maybe he could have some troubles. I think that coming in thinking that he's kind of like an unknown, like just like purely social person, is a misread of Jam Jam. I think that, you know, the strategic part is that he has to hope people don't see, and I think a few of these people might see it.
Well, I guess the final question I have for you is, I want some predictions.
Ooh.
Chappell, do you think Jam Jam will be a traitor or a faithful?
I need Jam Jam to be a traitor. And here's why. Jam Jam was able to play the middle in his season of Survivor masterfully, right? Like he basically played the traitors that time. He was a part of the Tika Alliance, and the Tika Alliance, let's just say that's the turret, right? They get to the merge and everything's in disarray, but they are playing the Ratu side and the other side. Can't remember. Soka. I don't know. They're playing the two sides against each other. I think it's a dance type, Soka. I don't know. Anyway, so they're playing them against each other the entire time, right? They can't target Jam Jam because he's in the middle, and they hate each other so much because Jam Jam and them are stoking the flames throughout, and then he makes it to the end with the people that he can beat. And I think that Jam Jam, if anybody, is going to be able to read the room and find out the people that he can beat, right? So if it's up to Jam Jam, he might be sitting there at the end with more clueless players after getting out kind of like the more savvy players throughout, just kind of like casually putting sus on them or making sure they're kind of gently pushing things in the direction. Last season when you and I talked, we talked about Danielle Reyes, and I was like, no, strategically she's fine. You know, like I was like, she is fine. She's got this. That's not even a problem. And I was very happy watching her go almost to the end, almost to the finale of last season. And so this time around, I'm gonna call it. Yeah, if Jam Jam's in the turret, he's there for a long time.
I do not hate the idea that if we have one representative from the CBS side, it's going to be Jam Jam. I feel like the reason why I think this is, I think based on how exciting the Carolyn pick was last year, I think that was we knew Carolyn was capable of being in the turret. I think that we didn't expect the show to see that. And then they picked her and no one expected her, which was huge. I think that Jam Jam would be, we've talked already 30 minutes here about how disarming he can be, how chill he can be, how he can be menacing, but very much hidden behind this very friendly front. I think that Jam Jam is the perfect candidate for that turret, should you want to go here. Because I think that if you're looking at the 5 CBS folks, the 5 gamers, I think outside of Jam Jam being a winner, I see no business in you putting Jam Jam number 1 on your sus list. I feel like you're looking at Ian, you're looking at Rob, you're looking at Natalie, you're looking at Tiffany before you look at Jam Jam.
Yeah, I think Rob feels like a good trader candidate, even though we know he doesn't want to do it. Rob C,
right?
You know, I think he looks like a good trader candidate because he is so connected to these people, right? Like you put him in the middle, and at the first glance, they should like Rob could be a trader, but I know him, so he's like positioned really well. I think Ian is giving trader hunter, like he's giving detective. You know, like he's watching people. He's like, you know, having his little sidebars, XYZ. But when I'm thinking about the television product, who do I want to have this screen time in there giving confessionals every single episode about, you know, the way that they're interacting with these people? Who's going to interact with the most people? You know, like I could definitely see Ian kind of like finding his people and hanging out with them, even if he's a trader. Jam Jam is going to be like a tornado around this room talking to everybody. So he's going to have commentary
Mhm.
about each and every one of these people. And he's going to be cutting. He's going to say the things. My boy Rob Cesternino has done a good job of like kind of scaling himself back from the Amazon days. Okay. We have not forgotten those days of Rob kind of like on a hot mic saying whatever he wanted. It was the first time on TV. My boy was he was excited,
Right.
but he's not that guy anymore. I don't know if Rob still has that like just unfiltered thing in them. It's just not a good business model, honestly. You know, you don't want to say anything crazy about these people because they would be great to have at a live show. We love you. If you're listening to this, please come to our live shows. We love you on the panel. That said, Jam Jam does not have that same filter.
Mhm.
I think back to him talking about Josh in his season and being like, yeah, what's up with the bitch face? And I was like, bitch face? You know, like, why would you say that? But he said it. And that's the kind of thing I think you want from a trader. You want the sound bites, you want the clips, you want the confessionals, you want the moments, and I think you're gonna get those from Jam Jam.
Yeah, I mean, that line was so iconic, I put it into the diss track I made on y'all the next season. Like,
You
that
did?
was and he loved it. Jam Jam loved the song, which was also it meant a lot. Yeah, I think that you absolutely need that, Chappelle, because I think, like, if you are too cagey, that comes off bad.
Mhm.
If you are very much over the top insulting, that'll come off insulting. Jam Jam will say it, but it'll pack a shady punch, a
Mhm.
funny shady, not a mean shady, which I think is good.
Yeah, like if like you wanted to like, we don't know how Ron Funches is gonna play the game,
Mhm.
but if you wanted to take like the comedy of Ron Funches and then add the strategy element of like Rob Cesternino or something like that, I think you can get Jam Jam, and I think that like so there's two reasons why you would pick him over the both of them, and then the other
Mhm.
reason, the big reason, is that he wants it. Jam Jam wants to be a trader. You know what I'm saying? Like he it's not to spoil anything, but Omar was talking about this in the Traders Canada. He wants to be a trader. Like you want to pick somebody who is like, I want to do the things because their heart is going to be in it. And I think if you're talking to them, Jam Jam is going to tell you straight up, I'm going to be a trader and I'm going to win the game. And I just would love to see it. I think it would be such a fun road, and I would be so devastated if they did catch on and get Jam Jam out of here. Like that would kill me. But
Yeah.
I'm here for the ride.
Same. And I think that one last thing I want to say before we head on out here is that yes, everyone on this cast probably is affiliated slash knows somebody from a previous season of the Traders. Jam Jam and Carolyn are very close. Could you imagine the debrief that Jam Jam has going into this? Probably more prepared than anybody else there. And especially if he does end up getting what he wants, which is a trader, he watched his close friend play last year. So he has the what to do's and what not to do's ready to go.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he's talked to the people. That's the other thing. All right. I think he's talked to the people. And I think that because of his conversation with those people, he's kind of like he's got a feel, right? I think Jam Jam
Mhm.
knows him and Carolyn are close. And I think that because of that closeness, he probably picked her brain a little bit. But again, his other faves have done this. He's a Parvati
Mhm.
stan. He's a Sandra stan. He's a Cerie stan. He compared himself to Cerie playing Survivor. Well, we already saw what happened when Cerie played the Traitors. So, you know, just
Hey,
like the logical thinking there is like, Cerie and Cerie's child, as one of Cerie's many children, I too could see Jam Jam taking
throw
some
that right in
advice
our
from his
faces.
mother.
Cool.
I got
Mhm.
to, I have to, because I love her and I love Jam Jam and I would love to see him do well.
Well, will Jam Jam follow in those footsteps? Will he fill those shoes? We will find out January 8th when things kick off with not one, not two, but 3 hours worth of a premiere ready to go. Chappelle, thank you so much for coming on with me as always, man. You and I get to podcast about a lot, but then we have these big gaps that we don't get to talk as much. So I'm very happy to get to talk to you once again. Let the people know when you're busy not being bought drinks for and being adopted by Cerie Fields. What else are you up to? What are your projects?
I am on recapkickback.com. That's where you can find me. You can find me on all social media platforms at recapkickback. Stop following my personal page. I don't post on there. Yeah, yeah. I don't know if y'all can tell. I'm not tweeting. Like this is not happening.
It's
But if
not
you want
you.
to, it's not a thing anymore. That's the old Chappelle. New Chappelle's on Blue Sky, but on at Recap Kickback on Blue Sky, at Recap Kickback on Instagram. If you're looking for my personal content on Instagram, not gonna find it. I don't post on there. Recap Kickback is where you can find me on all social media platforms. Make sure you follow that and then subscribe to my podcast, Recap Kickback, on YouTube, youtube.com/@recapkickback. I got a lot going on. Mari and I are talking about Interview with the Vampire currently to get ready for season 3. We also has House of the Dragon coverage or whatever when that comes back, the Night of the Seven Kingdoms or whatever it's called. G and I are still talking about Abbott Elementary, and so that's over there. And then Chantel and I are doing live recaps of Flavor of Love season 2. She's never seen Flavor of Love at all, and so we've worked our way through season 1. We're working our way through season 2, and we have some more New York content coming after that too as well. But you got to get all of that at Recap Kickback, youtube.com/@recapkickback.
There we go. I will also be joining Chappell over there on Recap Kickback when we talk about the final season of Bel-Air. Very excited to see how this story ends. We were there from the beginning. That was, I think, the first time me and Chappell felt like, oh my God, this reaches kind of wild, because we got to interview the showrunners for Bel-Air.
I think they switched up. They switched up on us several times at this point, Pooya.
Yeah.
But, yeah. It's been a good
And
time.
so we'll get to talk about that for sure. Y'all can find me on all socials at Pooyaism, twitch.tv/Pooya. And then find me talking Traitors still with Traitors UK coming out January 1st as well. So I'm pulling double duty in January with that. If you are listening to this and you are jonesing for something to watch in this bridge between Survivor ending and Traitors beginning, I highly recommend checking out Traitors Canada season 3. A very fun season, 10 episodes, easy watch, good podcast, good exit interviews ready for you there on my feed as well. And then check out my weekly pod with Liana over on the Pooya and Liana Lounge, see what we get up to there. And as you always know, the 90-day Hot Mess Express does not stop, and I am still on that train, chugging along. Brand new season before the 90 days happening. I appreciate Chappell for giving us his time. Hope you all had a good time here. We'll be back tomorrow with a brand new person to talk about. But until then, y'all take care. Have a good one.
This is RHAP. We know reality TV.